There we are. Oh, I can't see us.
Oh,
I gotta put your sign down a little bit.
oh yeah, you got a sign for me. Nice. I guess I can't really see the message.
Let's see. A little bit. There we go. That's better.
Nice.
So we're this opposite view.
So,
Hey, Bobby, what's up? Bobby from Patriotic
uh,
Frog. Everybody, this is Coffee and Bullshit episode 77. Running a little bit late, but we're here with Mike Spiva from Charlie Mike's Beef Jerky. Army veteran, business owner. Anything else?
Yeah, basically just an entrepreneur working for myself, trying to figure it out.
There you go. Just like us. It's
Need to figure out how to. Oh, okay.
I'm going live. So I'm just hold on, everybody. I'm just setting up
Yeah.
Instagram.
So I need to figure out how to link it to my shit.
Just if I can sneak around behind you.
Yeah.
Hopefully it works. I have no idea. There you go. All right, hey. We're live on Instagram also. Hey everybody, Instagram. In here, Coffee Bullshit episode number 77. Mike Spiva from Charlie Mike's Beef Jerky's here today. It's our guest. It's Mike for coming out.
Yeah, it's been quite a while since I've been on the podcast. I've been pretty busy.
Be busy, right? Just running around doing shows.
Yeah, I think I've got a little crazy with that though, because I've realized that if you do a weekend show
Yeah.
and then you come back for Monday and then you try and leave for Tuesday and Wednesday.
I spent much of my young life doing that same thing. There was when we were used to do home and garden shows, they were week long. So January, February, March, we'd leave for a week, drive back home Sunday night, unload Monday morning, reload Monday, and drive back. So it would be like Minnesota, Milwaukee, Iowa. Where the fuck else? But that was like for 3 months straight we do that. And it was brutal. Because you drive home 5-6 hours Sunday after you've been at the show for 12 hours a day. I'd load in the truck. Milwaukee or Minneapolis was the worst. It was 30 below. And to load was when we were in the old dome that used to be air supported roof. So it was a real bitch, but it wouldn't, because there's construction all around, you couldn't pull up next to the building. So we had to be a block and a half away with our trucks. So I had the hand cart. I'd go up and down curbs through the city with fucking full thing of 200 pounds worth of shit on it. I was like, I'm never coming back to this fucking place ever.
It's like I've been doing a lot of gun shows and I see those guys because I'm selling ammo now too. Actually, we're going to end up building a website for ammunition sales as well. That's what I'm working on now. So beef jerky and bullets.
Do you know what's going to be the website for the ammunition?
It's going to be charliemikesarmory.com.
There you go.
It's going to be the website.
When do you think you'll be live?
I would say sometime in July that'll be launched. I'm still in the process of putting 9,000 irons in the fire. So I've been doing a weekend show, and then I do Shipshewana Flea Market on Tuesday, Wednesday, and then at night after I work in the shop all day, I spend time putting together another website.
That's the worst part about the entrepreneurial mindset though, is you forget to take a break, or you forget to quit, or just stop sometimes.
Well, I think like with me, and what I've realized is that I put so much stuff on my plate because like I want to be like as busy and as worthy as possible. And then when I have a bad day or whatever, then I want to take the day off, and I'm like, well, I got like 9 million things to do. And then I like shame myself into like, well, you can't take a day off or a minute off to breathe.
Yep. I know that exact feeling. You feel guilty. So day off, not a day off. I feel guilty about not being at work. What else I could be accomplishing or doing if I was working right now today.
And then it's like the next day, if you take a day off, you're like, oh my God, I just added a whole bunch of shit onto my already shitty shit.
Now I'm buried. Bobby wants you to explain what the North Korean pacifier is.
Are you talking about my anti-tank missile right here? This is a Sagar 3. It's a wire-guided anti-tank missile. It was used by the Soviet Union in the 1970s.
That's awesome.
They are also for sale. See, that's another thing. I started with beef jerky, and now I do ammo, and every now and then I buy something really
Like
cool.
a Sager missile.
Yeah.
Because who doesn't need one of those?
Yeah.
Nice thing is heavy as shit, so even though it's not live, if you flung that like at your neighbor's house because you're being a dick, it would do some serious damage.
See, I wouldn't want to throw it though because it's like it would get damaged.
Yeah, but what's cooler than dropping a missile on somebody?
Well, I was gonna put 2 of them on the mule. I was gonna build some kind of.
Nice,
They come in a really cool case, like a wooden box. So
nice.
I think if I take the bracket that holds this missile in the crate,
Mm-hmm.
if I took that off and I drilled some holes in the mule bed, I could put 2 of them on the back of the mule. And then I just picked up a pendulum mount or a pedestal mount and the mounting plate for the mule, so I could put a Ma Deuce on it.
Nice.
And then that'll be my parade vehicle.
That'd be awesome.
Because like you guys, I want to only do like 12 shows a year. I don't want to be
That's
gone
the
every
goal.
weekend.
Right. The nice thing is we've got it down now, or we've got it narrowed down to basically what those 12 are. I think the hard thing though is accepting doing just 12. But we're so busy otherwise when we're not. But it's like this weekend being off was hard. Like I saw 2 shows we could have done. I was like, why weren't we at those shows? Man, we should have been at those shows. I don't know why I didn't do it. So I feel lazy, but we don't need to with all the other stuff we have going on right now. We need to play catch up just to keep up with business right now.
Well, it's like my buddy, he does surplus and he sells rocks and fossils and shit.
Oh,
And he has a huge like eBay online business, but he says he does 2 shows a month. So that's 24 a year. You do one big one and you do one small one that's local, and that's it.
Yeah.
But
we do one local. Just for us, it's a decent show. It's worthwhile for the 2 days. So we'll keep doing one. Plus, it's all of our client base that's local, so it's more people around us to get to know us. So I will keep that one because it's easy and it's cheap. But the ones where we go and spend in the beginning, we spent so many weekends.
Well, it's like I signed up for Sturgis and I didn't even go.
Right. But we sat at in the beginning. We were spending like weekends. We'd go like they'd be like everybody lies. They're always like, oh, we're expecting 10 to 15,000 people. It's gonna be a huge festival.
They're a promoter and a salesman.
We'd go sit there, and of course our spot was always next to the stage, where they had the shitty band playing that was loud, so we couldn't talk to anybody. But it'd be like we'd stay there for the whole weekend. Maybe 300-400 people would show up. Maybe we'd do like $300 for the weekend. I'm like, my time is worth more than this. So like I got so sick of that. I just show up. But when we're starting out, we did everything. Every time somebody asked us, we're like, yes, we'll be there. Yes, we'll be there. The one night we went down to Chicago for a Blue Line event with Grunt Style. We stayed there till 1 a.m. Left there. I got home at 2. Got up at 3 to drive to another show in Byron, Illinois, which is I've never even heard of Byron, Illinois before until this. To go there to do a show in the morning for like a adventure run. And so there was no sales Friday night because it was a networking thing. Then Saturday was like it was rainy for most of the morning, so like we barely did anything. And it ended up being like I don't know, $200-300 we killed ourselves for a weekend.
Yeah, it's the worst. It's like now I don't feel so bad when I go to a show and I don't really do like a crazy amount of sales. It's just there's no like diagram that says like, oh, if you bring beef jerky or ammo to this event, you're gonna do $25,000 in sales. Right. So the only way to learn is to go and show up. And then it's like whenever you do a new event in a new area, you're fighting like 16 different problems. There's no marketing that you're going to be in that AO. There's, nobody knows you're there. And then that's what I'm fighting in Shipshewana is like, nobody knows I'm there. Fuel prices are crazy. Are people really coming to the flea market?
Yeah. The tough thing is, well, it's like the one flea market we do here. I told everybody like they come, the first month is not going to be good. The second month will be a little bit better. The third month will be good. And you're like, oh, and then the fourth month, all of a sudden you're like, wow, this is a really good show. So whatever it is, people getting to know you're there.
Right.
As everybody I've gotten to come there, even for us, that was the same thing. Like we had to get to the 4th, 5th month before it became a good show for us. So hey, John from Hometown Train Heroes, one of our guys out in Iowa. Awesome guy, sells our coffee out there. We just saw white label stuff from today. John supports veterans. There goes the Instagram feed. If anybody's even watching.
There's Limpy.
Because I had that.
Yeah, I think John from Hometown Heroes reached out to me about the beef jerky. I gotta work on your account on the website, John. I just
I don't know
Going-
if I can get Instagram.
2,000 miles an hour all the time.
He knows. He does shows, and he has a job just like us.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have a job.
Yeah. I don't
You
know.
ain't got no job. It's Friday. You ain't got no job. You ain't got nowhere to be. How's it every day of your life is like Friday, just like the movie?
I mean, it's all right, but there's like I said, I got
Hanging out with Ice Cube on your front porch.
I've
Doing
been-
shit.
I've been sitting in the shop every day running presses because I got 5 tons of brass sitting in the shop.
I think our tripod is dead.
Is it done?
Yeah. It's gone. She's gone. Thank you guys for joining us on Instagram. I'm sorry we're having such trouble.
You want some duct tape?
I'm gonna get some.
I think that's the only. I think it's just gonna fall over again.
Not if nobody breathes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wouldn't do a show if we didn't have a technical issue or two during it.
Yeah. Everything's breaking, and if you order a new one, it'll take 7 weeks to get here.
Damn Chinese stuff. That's what happens when you don't spend much money. That's one thing that's really been nice. When we first started doing this, everything we had we put right in the business. Right? It was about what?
Well, I mean, if you really wanted to, you could probably.
Boom! Boom!
Boom.
There it goes. Crash on Insta.
Hey, you could probably put the phone on the other stand. The phone holder.
Yeah, but then it ends up too close. I don't know. And then this one gets screwed
Yeah,
up.
it's all jacked.
I don't know what to do. Even now the whole fucking stand's falling.
Probably need duct tape.
All right, guys, hang tight. I'll keep working on it. I'll duct tape it.
Yeah, but basically, what's new and exciting in my life or in my company, I guess, is that Woodman's and Aurora, they're gonna start
Yeah.
carrying my beef jerky along with Gun Barrel Coffee, so that'll be cool.
That's awesome.
Hopefully, more stores as that blossoms.
Can't say thank you enough to Woodman's for giving us the opportunity to give us a chance. They've been so awesome and so supportive. Great to have you in there.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it sells in a grocery store. Being that my beef jerky is kind of affordable when you go and look at the beef jerky rack in Woodman's.
Well, the funny thing is, I was very scared about that when we were going in. I'm like, there's 100 coffees on a shelf at a grocery store, right? Normally, when we go into a store, we're the only coffee in there.
You want me to come hold it?
You're good. I'll just figure it out.
The problem is that so I never was much of a coffee drinker, and then when I'd come here and you guys would force feed me free samples of coffee, and I was like, oh, it's warm and it's kind of wet, so it's kind of good.
Jeez.
I never was a coffee drinker, even in the military.
Just like in the army,
Yeah.
it's warm and wet every night when I go to bed.
But the more I drank it, and the more I started like, oh, coffee's supposed to wake me up.
And it doesn't have to taste like shit to do so.
And then it's like now I can't even. I don't even. I go into the gas station and get cappuccino because I don't even want to take the chance of buying coffee for $1.34 and then it's burned.
The worst part of getting to drink good coffee is you don't have it on the road. It sucks because you get stuck with it. You ever have to drink gas station coffee one time? You're like, oh my god, how am I paying $2 for a cup of this?
Well, it's even like
Horse
Dunkin'
piss.
Donuts
Yeah,
or Starbucks. I mean, everybody goes into Starbucks and gets like
damn Starbucks.
13. I don't even understand
Right, it's
what
all-
they're ordering.
It's
you
all
know?
bitter and gross, and it's got to be half double. Bobby does it really great. Bobby says that shit really great. It makes me laugh to the point where I can't even help it.
And then they have these weird cup sizes. And I'm like, give me a large black coffee, and I get it, and I'm like, this is terrible.
You can't get it just a black coffee. And like they don't have no idea what you're saying when you're like, "Can I get a large black coffee?" They're like,
They
What?
look at you like you're.
"Right." You don't even know what you are. You're not getting like a pumpkin spice double half calf, double decaf.
So that's the thing is like when I go to these events, it's like, well, do I bring a percolator? Because like Shipshawana and stuff, I have power, so I could technically bring a percolator there. And
We got a
Drink
really
coffee.
great campsite pour over. It's a pour over thing. It's got a little pot. Got the little pour over thing right there. You can make it.
see, the problem is that I'm really hard on things, so I can't have something like that. I had like lights for my tent and my trailer, and I busted all the light bulbs the other day.
That's dumb. Shit, that's why you have LEDs, so you're not an idiot. And we broke enough light strings that we bought the LEDs, and now
Well, it was like it was one of them Harbor Freight like string lights, which are cool because you can just zip tie them into the top of the canopy. But
you buy LEDs though.
well,
Then the bulbs don't fucking break. Then you can beat the shit out of them. So we brought the rope lights, the LED rope lights, so we could beat the shit out of them because that's what we did too. We kept on breaking bulbs, and like we'd get to a show, unpack, and be like, fuck, bulb broke. What now? What are we gonna do?
you take the bulb. The way to do it with those is you take the bulbs out.
Yeah,
Well,
that's-
I didn't
there's
take.
time for that shit.
I didn't take. Well, you got to take the lights off the tent anyway, because to fold the tent down.
Now our lights, they're plastic. They look like light bulbs, but they're the plastic ones.
Uh-huh.
We just roll up that string, throw it in a 5-gallon
Is it
bucket.
bright enough?
It's super bright.
Hmm.
We actually bought the white ones. They were way too bright. It was blinding being in our tent. So we went back and bought the softer white.
Are you guys doing Lockport?
Yeah.
I have the Indy 15 gun show. So it'll all depend on what fuel prices do.
It's a good show.
We don't know.
We kill it. We kill it that show. So if you guys don't know, in Lockport here, was it August?
September 11th.
Yeah, September 11th. Oh, yes, that's right on 9/11. That's right. We do Lockport World War II days. It's awesome. So they have a whole battlefield. They do World War II. They do Vietnam. I can't remember if they did. They do Korea, I think, because they have the camp. But guys bring out massive equipment. Like they bring out actual tanks. They bring out half tracks. They bring out.
I don't know if there was a tank there last year.
don't
Anyway,
think it was.
people come out and there's a reenactment groups and they'll set up like a whole encampment with tents and radios and the whole display, and they're all garbed up in period specific clothing and vehicles. And
Yeah, they're not even allowed. Like when we give them a coffee sample in a styrofoam cup, they're not allowed to take it back to camp. Everything in camp has to be
period specific.
Yeah, so it's really cool. So it's even there's like nurses there too. Like they're all in the same thing. So the British soldiers are cool. There wasn't a guy now with a tank. Mrs. Dazzo, what was the you were there when the guy came up with that little British, like, I don't know, it's not a scalp, but it was like it was tracked vehicle.
They
That thing
have
was
all
cool.
kinds of little scout cars that are tracked.
That thing was cool. But and then there was two big ducks there the year before. So it was really cool. Like, but they carve out the battlefield.
Did they do
carve
a
trenches.
bomber flyover? Because normally
No, last year they didn't. 2 years ago they had bomber. They had PT-40s coming over, and they had the guy with there's a guy with the Mustang there at Joliet Airport, and he flew over a few times. So it was really great. Yeah, John, if to work out, you come out to that show, come out, we can hang out. It'd be awesome because we ended up staying down there because Joliet's a far drive for me back and forth.
Oh, you do stay down there?
Just for the night, for Saturday night. It's a 2-hour drive for me,
Oh yeah.
and it starts early in the morning, so I don't want to do 2 hours back and forth.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what them guys are going to do because the blinks are non-existent.
Oh, that's right.
As you know, a guy. It's like I have a lot of 308 blinks, but I don't really have
So
a
we
lot
talked
of-
about the guys. We talked about that last year. What it was like, and most of them had such an inventory. They had such a stockpile. They're not
Yeah.
concerned. Like we buy so they buy as a group. Like so,
pallet.
right? So 1,000 guys get together. And they don't buy a pallet. They buy 10 pallets, right? So
Right.
they all get together and buy it. There he goes, Jimmy.
Oh yeah, there's the link.
There's a link for it.
Lockport. I'll definitely be at the Rockford one, and I think the Rockford
It's
one.
the weekend after, 18th and 19th.
Yeah, the Rockford one has a bigger reenactment show. And
Yeah, there was a
display.
Sherman tank there last year that took a cruise to the park, which is awesome.
Yeah,
There was
there's
an Abrams.
a lot more vehicles. There was a Stewart tank there too,
Yeah. There were a lot of half tracks.
and then there was like a bunch of different German vehicles that I never even saw because I never
Yeah.
walked through the woods.
Yeah, the woods. I mean, they're all camped within the woods. It's so cool. I would love to go there and spend time just walking through the woods and walking through the
Well,
camps.
it's just even like crazy when you walk around like the whole because they have like the Midway Village and they have all these like period specific buildings.
That's right.
And then there's all these other people, like townspeople, that everybody that's in the reenacting thing dresses up everything. There's like
Yeah.
girls riding around on bicycles from the 40s.
Mhm.
And
the Midway Village is really cool. So we're always set up behind the I guess it's a church. Yeah, a church or a school, whatever. The people there and they're all dressed up. So they're like telling people they're just under in an area that's being attacked. So it's really cool.
yeah, it's pretty crazy. But I mean, I'm there to sell stuff, so I never get to enjoy it. But it looks cool.
I know. I walk to go get food sometimes, and I run back to the booth because there we're so busy. So that's one thing that sucks. I hate when we go to shows, and everybody else is having fun while we're at work, and like we go like they're shooting machine guns. Even like when we went to the zombie shooter, Aurora,
Yeah.
like that guy's over there shooting MP5 fully auto. That guy's shooting AK fully auto. I'm like, I want to do that, but I'm like too busy working. So it was like the other guys are shooting cannons on the other side of the hill from us.
Well, that's the same thing that's the nice thing about going out to OFAST in Arizona is that I'm a vendor there, but I'm not really a vendor there. I'm more of a line shooter at those
Yeah.
events.
That's the fun thing.
But it's still like the same thing. Once, like the first year I went out there, I wasn't shooting. I had a shooting spot, but I didn't bring any guns. And then this last time, it was like I brought a bunch of stuff, and then it was like I never got to go around and look around really because that place is so massive. So it's like, you know, you're spending all the time on the line spot.
That's most shows. I'm like, but we take a quick cruise like on the way to the bathroom. Like you run like, oh, it's like we do the all night flea market here. Like I want to go shop that whole thing. It's awesome. Like the late night one that goes till 3 a.m. Yes, no, we're here in Wheaton. It's like huge, right? It's awesome. Like some of the D-list movie stars are there and shit. I want to go see them, but it's like we're so busy that we don't take a break. Like we don't sit down till. I was only sit down until 2 a.m. Like we never stopped. And bathroom break was run back as fast as you can because it was so insanely busy. Just never stopped. But those are the great shows, right? So those are the shows where I'm looking. Those are the 12 shows I'm looking to be at a year. You know those. That. And I said, you know, my new rules. I don't get out of bed for less than $2,500 a day.
I mean, I'm gonna do probably Indy 1500, and then I'll do. They're gonna do a OFAS spring and fall, which is Oklahoma Full Auto Machine Gun Shooting Trade Show. Nice. And then depending on fuel prices will depend if I go to Arizona or not.
It's going to be $8 before summer.
So
it's up by me. I'm in Algonquin, which is 20 miles north of here. We're $5.89. Here it's like $5.49. So it's 40 cents more up just by me.
And diesel's been a little bit cheaper than gas, which is good because
I forgot you got diesel.
Yeah, I got diesel now.
What's funny is because usually diesel goes up first, then gas is behind it. I'm like, oh, I'm glad I'm not diesel. Then all of a sudden, gas goes by diesel, and diesel kind of stays.
Well, I'd be interested to see what gets used more, diesel or gas.
Diesel, because every construction vehicle is diesel. All
yeah,
semis are diesel.
I'm saying road diesel.
Yeah, but all semis are diesel. So semis are using way more gas. Yeah, but
everybody that has a car has an unleaded
I know,
car.
But God, but a semi gets 3-4 miles to the gallon fully loaded, so it burns a hell of a lot more gas than one semi burns as much gas as 4 cars.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd like to see what the numbers are because I'm sure there's numbers somewhere.
Oh yeah, I'm sure the EPA keeps track of it, or some other government agency we pay way too much money for keeps track of it.
Yeah, but it's like diesel was holding strong at like $5, and now it's like $5.50. It sucks ass when you have a 48-gallon fuel tank.
I'll never forget, like the first time in like 2008, I was behind the guy in line at the gas station, inside at the register paying. He threw a $100 bill on the counter and then walked out the door. Like, and we're all like, "Sir," and the lady's like, "Sir, this is 100." He's like, "I know," and that's how much his gas was. It was $100. Like, in a truck, right? Pickup truck, and you're like, all of us were sitting there stunned, like, 100. Like, God, I can't believe it's $100 for gas. Like, when I grew up, started driving, I was paying 98 cents a gallon. Like $1. I was like, when I was going to college and I was driving back and forth, $5 to get me back and forth to school for 5 days, all the way in Joliet. I drive to Joliet from here. I could go back and forth for $5.
Yeah, I remember like a long ass time ago, there was some guy with a big ass cigar boat at a gas station, and I was like, how big is that fuel tank in that thing? And he's like 300 gallons, and you could just look at the pump and it said $300 because gas back then was like $1.
Yeah, now I know a guy with a cigarette boat. Yep, 300-gallon tank. And gas on the water, it's $5.50 or $6 a gallon.
It's probably more now. It's probably like $7 a gallon.
I'm like, so how much do you burn? It's like, we get maybe 2 miles to the gallon.
Yeah,
2 miles a gallon. I'm like, so if you go out for a day and run that boat, you're $2,000 to $3,000 to go for a day. And run that boat.
You're gonna have to get out of bed for double the money.
Well, right. Let you know. People who run on the ocean, they go out 30 miles to go fishing and back. Like, how much money?
I think it's really a little different in a cigar boat though, because them big old engines are just drinking gas.
Yeah, but my buddy who fishes down there, he has a Grady White. It's a 28-foot Grady White. It gets 1 mile to the gallon. The closest place to catch fish near him is 25 miles away. So I'm like, and gas is $4 a gallon. So it's $100 out and $100 back. It's $200 a day just to go fishing, whether you catch anything or not.
So is Rockford then closer for you, John, than Blackport?
It's gotta be close to the same.
I would say it would be closer.
Because John's like on Iowa-Missouri border, I think.
Oh yeah, so he's south. crazy.
I don't know. You could come to do both. What the hell? Quit your job, John, like all the rest of us.
You haven't quit yet. Although
I'm trying to.
You might have to if you know. You gotta
Things keep going the way they're
2,900
going.
bags.
Things keep going the way they're going. I'm gonna have to. I just don't want to. I don't want our company to have to pay me. I mean, it pays me very little now, but I don't want to. You know, I want to leave that money in the company.
Right. Well, I mean that's the battle. It's like I started paying myself this year with the company, and then it's like I just put the money right back into it.
Well, that's the thing is like we put so much money at the start. Like, dude, I swear to God, it's like I was almost like paying for a wedding. Every day I turned around, I was like another $1,000, another $1,000, another $1,000, another $1,000. I'm like, we just spent 1,000. Oh, we still need to put another 1,000 in. It was amazing just to watch my bank account just go over $100 to fill up. Jesus. And I got to a point where like, that's it. I'm not putting any more money in. Put enough in. If we can't be successful off of this amount of money, then we just need to shut it down and just say it's not going to work.
Right.
And then it got to a point where we were breaking even. Then we started making money, stacking cash. Then we got to a point where we could start paying ourselves. So we've been paying ourselves now for, I don't know, it's 2.5 years, 2.5, 3 years, which is pretty good for a company that's only in business for that short period of time.
Right.
You know, while Ed's still giving donations, Ed's still doing 10,000, 5,000 the first year, 10,000, 20,000, over 20,000 last year. I'm gonna be way over that this year.
Nice.
So, you know, just now it's just to the point of we're hitting that stage again. This is what every business goes through. You get to a point where money sucks, cash flow's tight, then all of a sudden you start to saturate capacity and you start throwing off a lot of cash. You start making money, but then you have to grow again. So then you go back through the broke period again. Then you get to that point where you start making money again. And then you have to go grow again. So when I work in consulting, walked into small businesses every day and looked at them, the best place to be in a business, honest to God, is 7.5 million. No more than that. 7.5 to 8, or over 50, or between 50 and 100. All the other places in there, you're broke. I don't know what it is about every company after company, whatever it is about that number, that's where you start throwing off. Like 7.5 million, everybody was making a ton of money. We'd walk in those companies, they were so cash rich. The biggest thing they had to do was go in and figure out how to deal with their taxes situation and how to give money to their kids and their family for longer term, to set them up and build the value of the company so they could have a saleable asset without, because there was so much money they had to take it out just to avoid taxes. But it's like you can only take out so much before you start hurting the value of the company. But then at 3.5 million, making tons of money. Below that, nothing. Below that, poor. $1.5 million, $2 million companies struggle. They're cash poor. They're paying salaries, and that's about it. No one gets raises. No one moves up.
I guess it all depends on the numbers, though. How many people you have working, and I mean, if I had $2 million company right now, I'd be doing good.
But you can't do 2 million by yourself. That's the thing.
Yeah,
So the problem is to get to that level of productivity, it takes the same amount of people.
Right.
No matter what industry you're in, it takes the same amount of people. Unless you're just wholesaling and you're an affiliate and you're just broken for somebody, or you're influencing for somebody. But every company, because either you need office staff or you need guys in the shop doing the work, or people in the shop doing the work. Right. So either whatever way, if you're doing a software company, you got to have programmers. Those are really expensive. If you're making widgets, you got to have guys, women in the shop making widgets. Either way, I looked at thousands of companies over 20 years. It was the same every time. I knew exactly where the margins were going to be. I knew exactly what the owner's going to be paying himself. You could just tell me what the volume of the company was. I could tell you exactly what it looked like. I could tell you exactly what the books looked like. I could tell you where they're losing money, what the situation was. That's funny. So it was great. Every manufacturing company that was running $1.5 million to $2 million had we'd walk in on the floor, they'd have 3 or 4 pieces of equipment under dust covers. The best, most awesome machines ever. So what they were was at the end of the year, the accountant would call them and say, "Hey, you got too much money. You gotta go buy something." So they'd run to the machine show in Vegas in December
and buy something,
buy this machine that they had no work for. They could do amazing work, but they had nobody selling that work. So it'd sit there, and the first thing they would do is come in and shop, like, "Come take a look." So they rip the dust off and like, "Look at this! My God, this is a 5-axis CNC machine. Costs $800,000. I'm like, wow, how much work you on it? Not a fucking thing since I bought it. But this is a machine that makes all the money, that can make them a ton of money, but they don't sell for it. So it's like same thing over and over again. You could every time I walked into it, it was just it was insane. If it was a software company or something like that, there'd be 3 or 4 dinosaurs who were just there because at one time they helped the company go. The owner felt bad to let them go, but didn't educate and wouldn't pay for any education for them to become better employees. We just let them sit there and rot until it finally got to the point where we had to let them go.
That's crazy.
And it just, but you'd see the same mistakes. So over and over again, things I've tried to avoid as we start to grow, but we fall in some of the same pitfalls and same traps.
Yeah. I will say the one thing about doing a weekend show and then doing a Tuesday, Wednesday show and working that hard is that I've got way more efficient setup, which is definitely a problem.
Yeah, you learn to move. You learn to move quick, right?
Well, especially at the flea market because it's outdoors, so it's like I set up my 2 tents and then it rains. And
yep, we got to the point where we got sick of that shit for so many years in the road that we had a trailer made specifically for us. Had two big doors on the side that opened up.
Right.
Because we hated crawling over everything to get to the front, like when we needed stuff. But then setting up the tent, we didn't have pop-ups back then. We had metal aluminum poles you had to carry.
And then you had to pound the stakes.
It would take forever. And you had to bungee cord all the corners together, and bungee cord, you had to put 30 bungee cords to hold the tarp on. So that would be like, you had to get there early to do it because they're never 10 by 10 or 20 by 20. They're always like a little bit bigger. So the person's next to them, they got theirs up before yours. You weren't going to get yours up. So it was like, the trailer was, you just got there, opened up the doors, had supports on it. We put them out, and that was our tent. So as soon as we got there, boom, already up.
Yeah, it's like if I was going to do longevity at like a flea market like this, it would be you rent the booth spot for the 3-month or 4-month thing, and then you have somebody put a tent on. But
yeah, or you get an RV with the retractable awning.
Yeah, I mean, I get the problem with the RV is you just can't carry a lot of weight.
No. And it's a bitch. Then you can't do anything until you get the shit out of your RV. Like you can't sleep in it. So if you got to take a break on the way to the show, well, the master bedroom is where you put all the shit because it's the biggest open space.
Yeah, I've been sleeping in the trailer. I put the AC unit in there.
It's nice. It's nice saving the money and not having to book a hotel. I mean, a hotel now is $130 a night anywhere.
Yeah, it's like I already paid $80 for the 2 spots, so my trailer fits there. So I just
and then you pick up an extra $130 a night or $200, $200 on top of you. Like, damn.
But it just sucks because Shipshewana is in Eastern time zone, so I leave at Monday at 2 o'clock. Yes,
I know.
Or Tuesday at 2 o'clock in the morning to drive 3 hours and lose an hour.
Yep, I always hated that. We did that show, like I said, for 25 years.
It's terrible.
But we had such a good following there. The funny thing is we were selling lamps in the middle of Amish country. So I was like, but we never had electricity there, but we sold a shit ton there. All of our friends sold. It's become 10 times the size that it was when we were
It's
there.
massive. I walked around a little bit this last time and I was just like, oh my God, this place is, I thought it was just like a little square. And then the more that I walked around, I was like, oh my God.
Well, it was big when we were there. And then we stopped. I went back like 5 years later and I'm like, oh my God, they like tripled the size of this thing. And then,
it's crazy.
And then I couldn't believe how big it is now. It take you all day to walk. But I used to love to go there, and I'd go to the auction because right on the same property up front is the big barns where they have the animal auction. So you can they let you go in back. You can walk on the catwalks and stuff above. They bring in the pigs, and they're brutal. They tear each other apart.
They're like to the left where all the auctions. You see, I haven't even walked over there because
I get bored. Like we're there so much, I just go there, watch the auction, watch them. It was awesome watching the bull auctions and the horse auctions, the pig auctions. It was just really cool to see.
Then the other downfall of that area is like the flea market goes till 4 o'clock and that whole area shuts down
They got
5 o'clock.
All the Amish have to be home before sundown.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's part of the rule. You have to be home before sundown.
So then you got to drive to Sturgis, Michigan to get anything.
Yep.
What do you mean I'm making you tired, John? I'm just getting tired of driving. It's like even when I was driving here, it was like 18 miles, and I was like, oh.
Dude, my drive here is 20 miles. You know how long it takes me?
40 minutes.
Yeah, 40 minutes to an hour. An hour. And on a highway that's 55 miles, supposed to be 55 miles an hour, but there's 137 lights between my house and here. I catch every one of them sometimes. This morning there was an accident and a fight. It was really great because the road went down to, that was good. I was trying to leave this morning. The road went down to one lane. They decided to pave early in the morning, which is awesome on a Saturday. They were paving last night when we went home too. So like overtime Status must have money. They're paying massive overtime, but it was awesome. So one guy had the left turn arrow. He went. The other guy was making a right turn. The guy making a right turn They almost collide in the middle of the intersection. The guy in the right turn was a jag. Was screaming at the guy who had the left turn arrow. So they both gave each other the finger. The one guy drove. The other guy went flying around him and cut him off, and then they slammed into each other on the 1-lane road. So I'm trying to get down here this morning, and so there's a massive backup because these two assholes were fighting in the middle of the road. This one asshole cut the other one off, and they crash into each other. So now neither one's going to move. I was like, dude, please just let me go to work. It's go pull off the side of the road. Now don't block a 1-lane road when there's thousands of cars.
It's crazy how many people are they take out all their rage and anger on the road. I don't know why that is, but it's like everywhere. It's like, oh, I'm gonna cut this dude off.
Well, the dumb thing is, you don't like. I've seen it happen like on the highway on my way to work in the morning, where some guy's being an asshole. He's pissed at some guy, so he swerves at him or brake checks him. Like, you're not affecting just that guy. You're affecting everybody on the highway. So how bad do you want to hurt people? Like, seems what an ass. Like, you're gonna impact 20 people, 30 people. I've seen so many pileups. Down in the city, we used to drive down the city when I did construction. And it was pileups once a month, like massive 90, 80, 100 cars pile up because people were doing 90 miles an hour. And there was one part on 90 where it just come to a complete stop. You couldn't see it. It was around a curve. It was blind. The traffic would be dead stop, and nobody expected it. It just would cause a pileup.
That's the downfall of going to Indiana, is that you got to take 80, and every day at like 3:30, there's like 4 accidents. It's like, this is a 6-lane road, and it's dead stop every time I get on the road.
Yep. Just like 80 and 294 through Indiana is the same. It's like, just like on weekends trying to get up to Michigan. So getting through like Gary is the worst thing in the whole world.
And then you don't really want to take a side detour.
Nope. We did one night. I thought we were like, we were coming back from Michigan. The Skyway was completely backed up. I'm like, oh, we can get off here. This isn't Gary yet. Dude, we got off. And I'm like, we need to get that out of here. I'm like, holy shit. And it seemed like it took us forever to make 15 blocks. Like, it was for every red light. I left room in front of me between the car.
Yeah, there's protocols when you can drive through Gary. You never pull up to the line. You never tailgate anybody at a stoplight just in case.
I'm like, I'm gonna kill my whole family because I wanted to get off around the traffic. I'm like, this is dumb, and it took forever. Every light, we got caught by every red light. I'm like, fuck this. I'm like, this is not good. This is bad. This is bad. It sucks that being there makes it the worst, because otherwise, if that wasn't there, like, it would be such a great, you could go around traffic, it would be so much better.
Even though it sucks, though, even getting off any of those streets in Gary are so small, and there's a stoplight everywhere, and it's like any other small town.
Yeah. There's no like, the one area, like, there wasn't one store open. They were all boarded up. Most of them were burned out. Bars on every windows. Streets were just like people just laying in the street. Like, I'm like, it'd be okay if I was by myself, but I had my wife and kids with. Like, this is not good, Like, I only have one gun on me.
Yeah, I'm going to do concealed carry tomorrow.
Nice.
For the first time in forever.
Yeah.
Figured it would be a solid move for the industries.
I need to go back and do mine too.
Yeah.
I've been lazy. I just haven't figured out time. Because it's always on weekends, or I'm busy during the week.
Yeah, that's my problem, is that I want to take a bunch of firearms classes, but they're all line up on the weekend, and it's like, somewhere, Actually, these next 2 months, it's not too bad for me.
We're slow next month. I don't know shit for next month.
Well, I mean, next month is the Thresherman show in Will County. If I decide to do that,
I'd like to do that one. That was like we do really well at the Thresherman show in DeKalb, so it'd be a shame not to do that one also.
I have to look up I think it's in, I don't know where it's at. It's in Manteno or something like that, ain't it?
Yeah, Manteno, some place I've never heard of. I looked up Manhattan or
Manhattan. Yeah,
I looked up, like, never heard of Manhattan, Illinois.
So I got to look up and see if there's a parking fee and what the admission, if there's an admission fee, because I feel like a lot of people are just hurting right now. So to go to an event that has, if there's no admission fee and there's no parking fee and it's like a free event, then I'm sure the crowd will be plentiful. But if it's really expensive, then
the shows we've been at have been okay so far. They've been good. We did really well in Iowa, man. Iowa was a great blessing in May to find a show, because usually May kind of sucks for us, but having that show in May was awesome. It was a big boom. It was just,
you have one tent there or 2 tents?
One. It was just insane. it would start at 9 in the morning, and then it was supposed to end at 7 or 8. I don't remember, but it wouldn't end.
Oh, really?
People were still coming to the booth. We're still doing sales.
So did you just, at the end of the night, did you just put your tent walls up and leave?
Yep. They had security, so I made it nice. Just put the tent up and then left and came back in the morning. We moved the generator in the tent. That's it.
Yeah.
Because I bought a bigger space with space behind, so we could. Because it's nice because like for an extra $40, $20, $25, they gave us an extra 15 feet behind the booth if we wanted for storage and stuff.
Right.
So that way I bought it because I could take the generator and put it, 15, 20 feet behind us. So
And
we
then
didn't
you
have to
could
hear the
have your coffee and totes behind.
Right. And then we had all this, so we're in the booth tripping over it. And I didn't have to listen to the generator all day. So it made it really good. But the show was great. Those are the, kind of shows I want to do is 12 of those a year. And
How did you do at Burgoo?
awesome.
Oh, you did.
I was sold out. So Burgoo was good enough that Sal had to come down Saturday night after the show he was at. I don't remember where he was at. Oh, Grunts. I don't remember. But he had to come down and meet me Saturday and bring me more stuff.
Are you doing the grunt style thing? I don't know
He
when
is.
that is.
He
August.
is. Yeah. Same time as the Thresherman show in DeKalb.
Hmm.
He wants to do it, but it wasn't good. It was okay for us. It wasn't fantastic.
Yeah.
And I'd rather have help with because that was on Saturday, the busiest Saturday I've ever had by myself. I sold over 200 coffees, I think 30 shirts, 20 mugs.
Yeah, I mean it's a car show at the end of the day.
So I sold so much that it was like I was just never stopped all day long. 200 by myself is a lot.
Yeah.
Especially because I got to grind it and all that, half of it. Then plus shirts, plus everything else. Plus I can't even go to the bathroom the whole day.
Yeah.
I'd run to the bathroom and then I'd come back and there'd be a line standing in front of the booth. Those people out there are awesome. They're awesome about supporting. They were so cool. Like they just walk up like, yeah, I'll take this, I'll take that, I'll take that. When you want to try, I said, no, I don't need to. Just give me all these bags. I love when we get really cool people like that at shows. It makes it a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It makes it worthwhile.
Yeah, I'm hoping with the added second website that between the two websites and maybe some other stuff that I won't have to hustle as hard. I don't think it ever ends though.
I mean, we've certainly been blessed that our website took off and people are so great about coming back. People sign up for subscription. Got so much good repeat business. Clients are so loyal. It saved our ass and building the website. It's funny back when we first had sales on our website, we were calling each other. Oh my God, you see that? Someone's ordered 2. Someone's ordered 4.
I still do that.
We're
Like when I sell a missile, I'm like, oh, I sold 2 more missiles today.
calling each other like all night long. Now it's like, now I get to the point I'm like, my phone goes off all day and I look at it, I'm like, man, that's a lot of shipping we got to do. Oh man, it's a lot of roasting we have to do. Now it's like, man, that's a lot. Like I came this morning and like first thing I do when I get in here this morning, look at my phone, pull up our ship station and start packing and shipping stuff. I'm like, what do we got ready? What don't I have ready?
Right.
And it's like,
I need to get on ship station.
I love it. I love it until like the mailman's here and I'm packing up the last order. John, I was packing your order to send it out to you as the mailman was standing here. I'm like, just give me 1 minute. He's like, no problem. Our mailman's awesome. They make man diapers. Yeah, I need one. I need one sometimes for some shows. But and I'm like, oh, awesome. I got you. I gave him your order. Right when he walked out the door, I went back to ship station. 5 more orders. I'm like,
Yeah, that's how it is for me. Is like I can pack orders literally and do office stuff in the morning. It's like, all right, I woke up at 5 o'clock and I packed all my orders from yesterday. And then I look back at my computer and I'm like, oh God, there's like 12 more orders. And then it's like, I pack all those orders and then I'm like, I'm leaving. And then I get like, and I'm like, nope, that's getting back tomorrow.
I used to have the notification turn on my phone every time ship station got a new order. So it'd be like, bing, bing, bing. They got to be like, just all day long. I'm like, all right, that's enough. We're turn that off. Never again.
Well, it's like eBay's got the best notification. It's like a ching.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, the only problem with eBay is if you do an auction, you get to ching every time somebody bids.
Oh, really?
Yeah. What happens though is like in the last hour,
Yeah.
you have
like,
item.
Depending on what
Right.
it
It
is.
never stops because people have their auto bid in. So every time someone bids up, you hear cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. You're like, oh, I must be making money, but it's like it's going up a dollar.
Or 20 cents. Or
Right,
something. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm trying to get more organized in the shipping thing too. All kinds of just.
I don't know how you deal with ship station was the best thing for us because it made our life so easy. It's like put in the order, hit the button. we can scan through every service that there's available
Yeah.
and see what the price is and see where our best deal is, because sometimes it's crazy. Sometimes UPS is way better pricing. Sometimes the mail is better pricing. Sometimes priority is cheaper than first class. It's crazy depending on what size and weight you're shipping.
Yeah. And that just automates everything.
Nope. Plus, the mailman comes and picks up packages here now. We used to have to drive to the post office at night and drop stuff off because it maybe be like two every couple of days. Now it's like there's enough that mailmen started coming in here. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna have to do with because you can only go to certain places to ship ammunition. So it's like today I drove all the way to the UPS hub and they was
Oh my god! Yeah,
it's been the first Saturday in a long time I've had off. So
2 o'clock, right? 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock they closed.
I don't even know. I don't even know if they're open on
Well,
Saturday. They used to be.
The UPS stores close at 3 o'clock on Saturday.
Yeah, I can't go to the UPS store.
You can't go there
because
because
I have to go to the hub.
It's so dumb that the UPS store closes at 3 o'clock. I'm like, what if you run a business on Saturday? Like we do. We stay open we try to stay open till at least 3. Like, so I have no time to get there. Like you couldn't stay till 5 in like a normal hour. So like we got to leave in the middle of the day. What sucks is when I'm here by myself, I can't leave. So it's like they don't have a drop off. They don't have a nighttime drop off like the mail does.
Yeah, the mail's nice because they leave the lobby open and
Yeah.
you can just go and put 50 packages
Right.
in the
Anytime.
slot. I'd hate to be a postal office worker after I go there.
This shit's heavy.
It's like the other day, I was gone. Let's see what. There was like a 10-day stretch where I had. I don't even know. My brain is fried, but it was like I had a 4-day show, and then I did Tuesday, Wednesday, at the flea market, and then I came back, and then I left on Wednesday to go to the 1500.
Oh, jeez.
And then I came back and refitted on Monday and left for the flea market again on Tuesday, Wednesday. So it's like a 2-week period of just like literally like a half a day off in between shows.
We've been there. I said that.
And it's like I also had like orders going on. That's the hardest part is that when I go to these far shows and I'm gone for like a week,
right. Then people are mad
Nobody's
because
at-
like
nobody's
orders
at
not
home
getting
packing
shipped
the
out.
orders. You
Yeah.
know?
then you feel bad like you get home a week later. It's like you have to do the orders now before you leave. Like then because now people are waiting 2 weeks or 3 weeks for their shit. Yeah, that part sucks. All right, let's call it. I'm tired. I'm done.
Yeah,
Thank you guys all for joining us, John. Thanks for coming out, buddy.
Yeah,
Appreciate all
whatever,
support.
20 minutes. Thanks for I've been yawning like every 10
We're
minutes.
done. Go check out Charlie Mike's Beef Jerky. Does your Charlie Mike's have a website?
Yeah, CharlieMikes.com.
Yeah.
But you can get beef jerky and this Bluetooth speakers.
It's good
here.
and it's good and tender jerky. It's not the kind of like rips your teeth out, which I love about it. The teriyaki, original, and black pepper, they're all awesome. See you, Bobby. Thanks for joining us, buddy. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Go check out Patriotic Frog for awesome custom woodwork. Go check out Hometown Trinity Heroes on Facebook. I'm glad you work too, John. We should have invited John. It's such a pain in the butt. It never seems to work.
Oh, the 3-way.
Yeah. But we'll work it out so we can have you on as a guest, John, one time when you have an open weekend. But thank you, everybody. Have a great week. We'll see you guys. Maybe we'll see you next weekend. We're going to be at the late night flea market, so we'll probably do a live from there out in Belvedere. So if you're up the area, out in Belvedere is 3 to midnight at the Boone County. I think it's Boone County Fairgrounds, in
Belvedere.
Belvedere. Yeah, it's Boone County. 3 to 12. It's cool thing. There's good food, lots of booze. Come out, bring a flashlight, shop outside. It's always been a good time. It's always been a great show. Thank you, guys.
Yep. Have a good one.